the big three as we continue on with the thread of analysis that we've been updating each and every week with Solana, Ethereum, and Bitcoin, actually in that order for this week as well, as we continue with the top-down analysis, just focus on the higher-term timeframes here, that has been, I hope, helpful throughout this, very long, very boring, but very important consolidation that we've been seeing for the past, 6-7 months now. There are now some major signals brewing in the background, as September does come to a close here. I think we're just about 1 week away, or just over 1 week away from the end of September here, and Solana is showing several signals. So I want to speak directly now to the people who have taken the crypto school, which is a free school. There is a link in the description below, as this is an example of one of the major setups with the 21 and 55 exponential moving averages crossed to the upside direction. This has been the case for quite some time, since November of last year, which gives us an upside bias overall. But now that we do have the other two features with extremely low volatility, with BBWP below especially 30 percentile right here, and momentum represented by the stochastic oscillator ready to cross back onto the upside, perhaps as soon as today's closure, which actually looks rather likely, that would be essentially the signal, if you will, for a nice move or a nice resolution, a nice push to the upside. In this case, the weekly stochastic oscillator will officially cross the upside if Solana closes above 142 and about 11 cents. Right now trading about 148 and a quarter almost. So looking likely. Of course, you don't want to count your chickens or ducks before they hatch, or whatever the fuck you're counting. Just wait until they hatch. But it is going to be confirmed about 19 hours, 39 minutes, and 58 seconds and counting. Not only that, but you will notice that over the past slightly over a year now, since June of 2023, we have seen the stochastic oscillator essentially base off of this same area, essentially a rejection around the edge of the bearish control zone here. And if I were to match up all of these twists in momentum around this region, I think I think the results will be obvious for you to kind of judge for yourself. As always, I want to be pushing it back on you, and you can take from this whatever you will, but this is correlated with some pretty significant lows coming out of the last just over a year of price action. We're talking about the June lows over here before a pretty sizable rally actually. This one was from bottom to top a 125% rally, which it doesn't look like much on the charts, but certainly it was. Again, we see the same thing in September and October of last year before the mega run where Solana really broke out, as well as just the rest of the markets before even the first real attempt at a correction. This thing went on for basically a 200% run, and then again before the overall failed rally attempt in July, where again Solana did put in a nice move here from bottom to top, but did just overall hold the range, and this was about a 60% move on the height of it. Let's just double check. Yeah, just over 60% move on the height of it, and once again crossing around in the same direction. You might even call this, or I mean you technically could call this divergence, as well as there was a slightly lower close right here correlated with a higher close on, or sorry, a higher low on the stochastic oscillator right here. The LARP line seemingly playing out as well, and Solana just getting another one of these bounces off of this critical zone. And so the way that I look at it is, especially as long as the 21 is continuing to be trending above the 55, this is essentially a bounce zone, and so it's taken some time, it's taken some patience for sure, but so far so good. And based off of this, we'd kind of expect that this current move, this current base that Solana's been putting in, will have an upside bias and likely gets resolved. I'd guess probably in October. I think September is still going to be kind of like a slow trudge, but the setup is there, is what I'm trying to say. What's the next major area of interest to be aware of for Solana? Well, of course, that would be back above this last little swing high, which was about 162. Even just trading back above there would probably be good enough for this one to essentially initiate a move back onto the top side of the range. And at that point, anytime you're around the top side of the range, well, got to be thinking breakout, right? On top of that, Solana over here, from our other look, we can see that the weekly RSI is about to confirm that drive of hidden bullish divergence. It is a phantom drive, but a lot of the time we do see these ones work out. and that is coming off the neutral zone as well. So, there'd be another sort of decent signal for this one to probably at least test that swing high from August. So at that point, just have to be thinking, or just have to be looking, hey, does Solana trade above there or not? If it does, look for the next, look for the next one to be hit. And well, again, I think that's personally more or less a formality, but of course that's for you to decide. And long term, Solana just generally good here as long as it's above about 125. As you can see, several tests within this region for the past, again, 6-7 months, all holding. So next move very likely up, and well, we'll see what October holds, because October typically is a rather pleasurable month for the crypto believers, crypto boulas of this world. Anyways, let's get now into some Ethereum action. Let me bring you back to this chart right here. I take off my indicators as well. There we go. Where is my long-term Ethereum chart? And this is one that we've been updating quite frequently, as well as Ethereum did come back down into this sort of blue box, the blue box of peace and prosperity, once again saving perhaps the butyrolls of this world. Several things here, actually. So one, we are seeing the LARP lines again, kind of play out right here. I guess it is bouncing a little bit before, but of course these aren't supposed to be like exact, but just kind of general sort of guidelines. This is the same sort of higher lows that we've been finding, around this region since, really the lows were put in June of 2022. So more than 2 years ago now. And on top of that, the weekly stochastic, sort of similar to Solana, but less strong than Solana as well, to be fair, has been finding some nice big bounces off of basically, the critical zone around the bearish side. So, line it up for the momentum twist around this region, just kind of see what is correlated with in the past. And well, that was your December 2022 low right here before a pretty significant run as well. This was a 70% run, not as good as Solana, but decent. Who's going to be complaining about 7%? Again, right here, 76% in October of last year to June of this year, and then perhaps once again right here, as Solana does, have a nice bounce thus far. Of course, for Solana, I keep on saying Solana, I mean Ethereum. But if it's been confusing, what I mean is Ethereum for the last couple minutes here, or for the last minute here. But comparing Ethereum to Solana, obviously weaker. So this one's more or less, as it has been, dependent upon a strong broad market led by Bitcoin and Solana, it seems like to me. Pound for pound probably shouldn't gain as much percentage wise, and it does deserve some recognition that this one's operating quite well below its all-time high still. But hey, if the rest of the market moves up, this thing very likely does as well, and this would still be a macro higher low if we do go to the monthly time frame. Always go to a higher term time frame if you're looking for those higher lows and you don't see them on your current time frame if you want it to fit your buys. But as you can see right here, again, it is just a completely different chart than even Solana and Bitcoin as well. Bitcoin actually the only one of those three making new all-time highs, but Solana having the biggest percentage move, obviously coming off of single digits to 200 basically. What else did I want to get into? Yes, this chart right here, we do see, if I can bring it up to my Ethereum chart, same sort of thing. We do see that the weekly RSI is going to have that same sort of hidden bullish divergence. Actually, a few drives coming off of this last low, or this current low. Again, a little bit more on the weaker side, but should very likely pop back up and test your August of 2024 highs. Yes, your August of 2024 highs. Long term, it's technically speaking, if you want to be going off a trend, which I do think is the best thing to be going off of, if you are interested in just a long moves, then your last lower high is where? Well, if we put it on a line chart, I'm sure some people will say this one right here at 2750. I don't think that's a very important high. I think this is the one right here that you're really interested in, which is all the way up 3500. So again, it's kind of showcasing the weakness in comparison to the other ones that Ethereum does have. But we will see the jewel actually turn up, or very likely turn up, at least have a chance to turn up here. It's losing its downside curvature for the first time since the June rally, basically. So that is significant. That was this whole segment right here, once again finally turning up, which would be technically a higher low on the monthly, so that is important as well, but operating still well below its red 5, whereas Solana, I believe, is above right now, and so is Bitcoin, or around it. So again, Ethereum percentage-wise, probably doesn't gain as much. If we look at Solana versus Ethereum, let's look at it from this angle. Put it on a weekly as well. We can see, yeah, very obviously, Solana versus Ethereum on this chart right here is back around the top side of this consolidation. So it is really close to breaking out. In fact, I mean, you might even say that it's already broken out. You know, I think that this is probably a formality right here in terms of waiting. But hey, you know, if you really want to wait, about 0.059 is the magical number to beat on a weekly closure. Again, weekly closing later today in just over 19 and a half hours. Looking at a monthly, again, it looks very likely to me, but hey, you know, always want to wait for confirmation. So fair enough, I suppose. Fair enough. Anyways, what else do we want to look at? Yes, of course, maybe some corn, maybe some Bitcoin action. Let's look at Bitcoin over here. I think just the most simplistic way to kind of, you know, summarize this analysis, just looking at the weekly HPDR. Weekly HPDR is going to have a chance to close back above the median, which the median is coming in at 62,350. Bitcoin now trading nearly $1,000 above that pivot. Again, long 19 and a half hours left to go, but assuming that Bitcoin is above that pivot, you know, kind of have to be looking at this next week to at least challenge the highs that we did see from August. And again, same thing right there, you know, trading back above those, even on a wick basis, which wick would be 65,100. 65,100. I mean, you know, that is your last lower high. So trading back above, you got a higher high, thus a reversal on your hands, and very likely does start to challenge, you know, these last few highs that you've seen since basically April, again in June and in July. So, you know, things starting to really be a lot more interesting here coming into the end of September. We'll update this continually on the weekends, of course, and I suspect that this is really a setup for October to come, which, you know, traditionally has been a nice seasonal month for markets. So I'll end things on that note. As always, I wish you the best of the best. I'm recording this video maybe in advance. I'll see when I actually upload this one. But we're going back to our base early this coming week, so you don't have to deal with the raspy lesbian voice on this damn microphone right here. So I'll be ending things on that note. As always, wish you the best. Take care, much love, and see you hopefully next time.